Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Jack. Back again to have some first impressions for Holy Priest on the PTR with some of the raid testing and more just how I felt that the class was coming along and how it's feeling. Alright, so right off the bat, I mean, Holy really hasn't gotten that many changes. It's kind of funny if you're looking at all of the other specs right now, you're kind of noticing that Druid just got a 4% nerf across the board. You're looking at, like, Mythic got a 4% buff across the board. You know, they've been playing with Disc like it's a yo-yo, for example. And then Holy's just kind of there. Holy's just kind of there and has slowly and silently kind of been creeping up more and more and more just because of the fact that they're not really getting any nerfs. And we're not really getting anything that's very much hurting us or impeding us or anything like that. And especially if you're looking at like the fights, it's kind of hard to find a fight that's not going to be beneficial to a Holy Priest because we're always going to be beneficial on a fight, you know. We're always going to have that flexibility that's going to make us extremely, extremely powerful, and it's just going to continue. I think Holy is really going to shine in Tomb of Sargeras, and it's really just only going to continue. What we're seeing with like a fight like Demonic Inquisition is there's a number of like heavy requirements for spot healing, you know. On demand, unexpected, you don't know who's going to get targeted by this mechanic, or you don't know who's going to get targeted by some of the spines that are coming out of the floor, they're going to be hitting people. A lot of things like that where, you know, it can be very, very easy for people to take a lot of damage on individual targets, and you're able to be healing up a lot of that, you know. There's some mechanics that'll be dealing, you know, raid-wide damage, and we have the tools to deal with that. So what we're kind of seeing right now is just how well does our 4-piece kind of synergize with the damage that we're going to be seeing. Because, of course, our 4-piece, which is giving us faster access to our Holy Words, is going to mean that we're going to have a lot more opportunities to be getting higher divinity uptime and really be pumping out a lot of healing as a result. The big question a lot of people have been asking me is like, well, what's our mana going to be looking like? And if anything, our mana is going to be looking probably in a better position, if anything. The mana efficiency, the healing per mana that you're getting out of your Holy Words is so immensely strong, it's so immensely powerful, and it outclasses like Flash Heal and Prayer of Healing by just huge, huge margins. I believe it's like 30-something K for a Flash Heal or something like that, and doing, you know, 350K, 400K or something like that healing, and for like, you know, I believe it's 40K or high 30,000s for Serenity cost, and then it's doing like 1.5 million, you know, you're doing so much more healing just for a slightly higher mana cost. So the fact that you're getting more and more of these Holy Words, it's just going to make your mana in a better position, rather than you using a Serenity on this target, then the tank's taking a lot of damage, and it's only going to continue for the next 3-4 seconds. We can Flash Heal them once or twice, get your Serenity back, and you're good to go. Rather than you stuck Flash Healing them for a longer period of time to get them higher and higher up in health. You know, you're going to have that faster access to your Holy Words. You will not be using as much Prayer of Healing, less Flash Heal, because you will not have to, because you'll have access to those Holy Words and stuff like that. So I think it'll be a really, really good spot for Holy to be in. I think it's actually more significant for you to have faster access to your Serenities than it is to have faster access to Sanctifies. That being because the Serenity is a lot more flexible because it's going to be on an individual target. And even if there's not a specific mechanic or someone standing in garbage, you know, it's so easy to be using this on the tanks. You know, even if they're like 60-70% HP, it's really, really easy to use it on them because their HP is only going to get higher, and it's only going to get easier really just to dump Serenities into their targets. So I think that'll be totally fine for us. And really, the 4-piece for us is actually just kind of perfect, you know. The synergy that we're going to be getting with Cosmic Ripple is going to be absolutely insane. You definitely see a very marked increase in the healing that Cosmic Ripple is going to be doing, and of course Cosmic Ripple is going to be that smart, semi-smart healing, so it's going to be very, very efficient there. And the fact that we're getting synergy between our gold trait and our set bonuses, and it is a key part of our entire spec, is just going to make the spec even better, you know. Thankfully we dodged the Divinity nerf, and thankfully that was reverted, so we don't have anything kind of holding us back there. But more and more you're kind of seeing that with Holy Priest especially, we're kind of getting into a position where it's just going to get better and better. You know, our ability to kind of react to the damage, especially on a fight like a Demonic Inquisition, where, you know, the major mechanics for us is just kind of don't stand in garbage. And this kind of harkens back to Shaw of Pride, if you ever played on Shaw of Pride, where the more garbage that you stand in, the more you kind of fail on mechanics, the slower that you're dispelling and stuff like that, the more that other people are going to be taking that corruption or I believe it's like the sins or something like that on Inquisition, and you have to basically confess. You go into a downstairs phase, you pick up some nice shiny orbs, and then you're clearing your stacks, and you're able to go back up, right? From here, I mean, it's just kind of the coordination between your other healers and saying, okay, you know, you're kind of going to hit this breaking point where you need to have your healers clearing as fast as they can, probably the first ones to clear. At least that was more the strategy that we were going with, because we kept hitting this breaking point where if I went down first, if I got all my orbs and I was able to come back up, I was able to be up and healing, and things would be pretty fine until the ads started murdering us, because we didn't have the DPS coming back as fast. So, but if we got into a situation where I was like the last one to go down, and all the other healers were going first, we got into this really tough situation where there was just so much overwhelmingly large damage that, you know, one healer's not going to be able to keep it up. So it's kind of a balancing act I've seen in this fight, and overall it's just pretty simple. I mean, I believe it's like the 3rd or 4th boss in the instance. It's just a pretty simple, actually no, it's the 2nd. It's a pretty simple fight in terms of don't stand in garbage, healing up targets, dispelling people when they're running out of the group, and of course if they get a debuff they need to run out of the group and just dispel it, otherwise they give more corruption to everybody else. So in terms of that, it's a pretty simple fight for a Mythic encounter, and a lot of it is going to be kind of balanced from a healer perspective. A lot of it's going to be balancing and kind of juggling who's going to go down first, and how many healers you need to have up and how many you need to have down at any one point in time. Because of course if you reach the maximum of the corruption of the stacks, you're doing considerably less healing, considerably less damage, so it's something where you just immediately need to go down and get it cleared as fast as you can. So it might even be something, if you're like a healing lead, where you really will take a look at how much corruption all your other healers are getting, and try to balance it out for everybody, so that ideally you want to get to a point where you are sending, you know, 1 or 2 people down early, they're getting cleared. By the time they're getting cleared and coming back up, the other 2 healers are just about to hit max corruption, and then they have to go down. You know, something along those lines. And of course, it will kind of depend on how much overwhelming damage that we're going to be seeing later and later into this encounter. You know, the kind of sad thing about PTR testing is that you're not able to kind of push further into phases. You're not able to see deeper and deeper into a fight if there are, you know, extra, like the extra mechanics that you'll be seeing. But for Demonic Inquisition, I don't think there was really much that we missed. It's just as things get as things repeat, as things get faster, you know, you kind of are pushing people to be as consistent as they possibly can with it. So overall, I enjoyed Mythic PTR testing. I enjoyed a lot of the opportunities just to kind of see what the boss fights are going to be holding. If you want to check out the stream today, around this time, actually at the time of the video, I will be streaming Mythic PTR testing right now. I'll probably play some Disc, I'll probably play some Holy as well. And it should be really good. You know, I think one of the biggest struggles with PTR testing in general is not having all of your add-ons and weak cores the way that you like them. So I've been running off, on this video I was running off of mouse over macros, but I think I finally got Clique working, so I'll actually be able to be using Clique in my Clickbox casting and stuff that I really prefer to use. So if you want to check out the logs of our Demonic Inquisition testing, they'll be linked below. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Hope you all enjoy it. Check out the live stream, and I'll catch you all next time.